In the movie's opening, the girl wakes to find herself in an eerie place, her limbs bound and her surroundings cloaked in mystery. As she struggles against her restraints, a foreboding woman enters the scene, her gaze sharp and unsettling. With an air of malevolence, the woman places peculiar leech-like creatures on the girl's back, their tiny forms latching onto her skin and sapping her blood. Throughout this bizarre and haunting ordeal, a small robotic companion hovers nearby, assisting the woman in relaying crucial information. As the tension escalates, the woman removes the leeches from the girl's back, an unnerving act that turns even more unsettling as she begins consuming them herself. Just as the atmosphere thickens with dread, a figure shrouded in a menacing mask storms into the room, wielding burning coals that cast an eerie glow. The girl's piercing scream pierces the air as the scene abruptly plunges into darkness, leaving a sense of impending doom lingering in the air. Following this intense sequence, the story shifts dramatically to the vast expanse of space, revealing a breathtaking view of a sprawling galaxy. Among the celestial wonders, a vibrant red planet named Aru stands out, its enigmatic allure drawing the focus. A colossal spaceship descends gracefully onto the planet's surface, marking its arrival with a display of extraterrestrial technology. From this vessel emerges a figure cloaked in authority, a man with a commanding presence carrying a staff that seems to hum with otherworldly energy. Accompanying him are two diminutive beings, their intentions initially hostile as they move to confront the man. However, with a calm demeanor and peaceful gestures, the man identifies himself as Priest Zelk, diffusing the tension and demonstrating his peaceful intent. As the man and his unexpected companions engage in a tranquil walk across the alien landscape, they encounter a woman whose warmth and hospitality are immediately evident. She extends an invitation for a meal, and amidst the shared food and conversation, introductions are made, and a sense of camaraderie begins to form among them. Yet, this newfound peace is abruptly disrupted as a spacefaring vehicle, bearing a group of mysterious and armed individuals, arrives on the scene. The tension in the air is palpable as the priest, ever the diplomat, acknowledges their arrival and seeks to establish a connection, setting the stage for an encounter fraught with uncertainty and looming conflict. The narrative delves deeper into the turmoil faced by Torah, who witnesses the old man and the dwarf, her companions, facing a deadly threat. As ruthless men target the old man with a lethal laser ray, Torah's desperate attempt to intervene tragically results in the dwarf becoming the unintended victim. Fueled by fear and desperation, Torah flees, but the malicious pursuers, driven by nefarious motives, relentlessly chase after her. In a harrowing struggle for survival, Torah turns the tables on her assailants, resorting to defending herself by confronting and eliminating each one, albeit in brutal encounters during her escape. The men's pursuit of Torah ends in their own demise, met with the same brutality they intended for her. However, Torah's actions lead to a life sentence in prison for these deaths. The scene then shifts to Torah's arrival in this confined space, where she becomes the target of hostility from fellow inmates. A group of girls observes Torah, initially attempting to rouse her before resorting to intimidation and bullying upon her awakening. The situation escalates as physical violence ensues, orchestrated by the woman among them. These women, each with their own stories and reasons for being in prison, subject Torah to a harrowing ordeal, including unsettling advances and threats. Amidst the chaos, a sudden revelation strikes as one of the girls alerts the others to the arrival of the warden, revealed to be the same woman from the film's ominous opening scene. The warden, displaying an unexpected shift in demeanor, releases Torah from her restraints and endeavors to counsel her. Handing Torah a uniform, the warden gestures for her to wear it, suggesting a different direction in Torah's unexpected journey within the confines of the prison. Torah is ushered by the one-eyed woman to another warden within the confines of the prison. Exiting the room, this enigmatic figure attempts to instill fear in Torah, emanating an aura of intimidation and mystery. In a subsequent scene, the storyline shifts to two men engaged in a fierce altercation, culminating in an unexpected victory for the smaller combatant. Yet, the revelation unfolds, it was merely a holographic projection observed by the senior warden, adding a layer of complexity to the prison's inner workings. The one-eyed woman escorts Torah to the primary warden, who commands privacy for their interaction, using this secluded moment to approach Torah in an unsettling manner, attempting to seduce and manipulate her. During this unsettling encounter, the warden divulges a disturbing truth to Torah: the man she believed she had killed is, in fact, still alive. However, due to her incarceration, she is powerless to alter this reality. The warden, offering a perplexing mix of guidance and veiled threats, instructs Torah to maintain good behavior within the confines of the prison, hinting at recurring encounters between them. Subsequently, Torah, flanked by two guards, is led to the jail's canteen. Here, amidst the din of women enjoying their meals prepared by alien hands, an unexpected interruption occurs as the warden appears on screen, delivering cryptic messages that disrupt the peaceful ambience. Attempting to assimilate into this environment, Torah collects her food but faces continued hostility from fellow inmates. Rejecting the meal and opting to sit with a lone girl, Torah becomes the target of another's insistence that she eat, leading to a tense confrontation escalating into a physical brawl. The surrounding women, more spectators than interveners, cheer on the clash, contributing to the chaos rather than diffusing it. As the altercation intensifies, Torah becomes the subject of a brutal assault, meted out by her fellow inmates. The abrupt entrance of the warden wielding a whip marks a sudden turn in the turmoil, attempting to quell the violence that had escalated unchecked. The warden instructs the one-eyed woman to apprehend Torah and the other girl responsible for the tumultuous incident in the arena. Bound and subjected to a brutal lashing on their backs, the two endure the punishment, the warden's satisfaction evident in her demeanor. Abruptly, she halts the punishment, signaling the guards to release them from their restraints. Suddenly, the atmosphere grows ominous as 4 additional prisoner girls are ushered into the room, swiftly bound and left defenseless against a menacing monster unleashed by the warden's command. Fear grips the room as the creature menaces the terrified women, seeking to attack them. In a sudden turn of events, Torah and the other woman find themselves thrust into a life and death struggle, forced to confront the monstrous threat. Despite their initial rivalry, they unite, aiding each other in a courageous battle against the creature. With combined effort and strategic teamwork, they manage to vanquish the beast, earning the accolades and cheers of their fellow inmates. However, their triumph is short-lived as the warden, visibly displeased by their unexpected victory, abruptly departs, citing urgent matters to attend to. The subsequent scenes reveal Torah and her newfound ally confined to separate small cells, both attempting different approaches to escape. While Torah tries various methods, her friend discovers a flute in her cell, finding solace in the music it produces. Meanwhile, the focus shifts to the warden engaged in discussions with royal figures, addressing pressing matters and emphasizing the necessity of expediting a scientific experiment involving a brain immobilizer. The urgency is palpable as the warden assures the royals of her commitment to completing the immobilizer promptly, aligning herself with their objectives. The tension escalates within the prison walls as Torah's friend begins to perceive strange and unsettling noises echoing through her cell. Meanwhile, Torah herself faces an unexpected attack from a bizarre creature, engaging in a life-or-death struggle and emerging victorious, though drenched in the creature's blood, a testament to her resilience in the face of danger. Despite the turmoil, an unexpected turn takes place as the women in the jail transform their environment into a jubilant celebration, a spontaneous birthday party orchestrated by the returning robot. Amidst the revelry, Torah, now released from her cell, partakes in the festivities, indulging in wine and momentarily finding solace in the joyous atmosphere. However, the festivities are disrupted by the sudden and alarming entrance of Bentor, sending shivers down Torah's spine as she grapples with the realization that the man she believed she had eliminated is still alive. Bentor's menacing presence ignites fear in Torah, but the women rally around her, offering protection and defiance against his threats before he eventually departs. The narrative takes a significant turn as the royals address the incarcerated women, imparting crucial information and issuing directives that hint at impending changes within the prison's dynamics. Meanwhile, in a clandestine lab, a scientist conducts experiments under the supervision of the warden and Bentor. Their shared excitement indicates the success of a significant experiment. Bentor, driven by vengeance, reveals his malevolent intentions to eliminate Torah. Departing, he urges the doctor to replicate the experiment secretly, hinting at his sinister plans unfolding under the veil of night. The night unravels a sequence of clandestine actions within the prison's confines, unveiling a chilling narrative of experimentation and betrayal. Bentor's accomplice infiltrates the sleeping quarters, administering sedatives to a prisoner, clandestinely whisking her away to the doctor's lab for a sinister experiment. However, the soldier's path diverges as he succumbs to the seductive allure of a woman, leading him astray from his assigned duty. Meanwhile, Bentor, seething with rage directed at Torah, revels in inflicting purposeful punishment upon himself, finding an odd sense of pleasure in the pain. A haunting apparition of the priest Bentor had once killed appears before him, sending shivers down his spine and planting seeds of fear within his soul. The following scene reveals the incarcerated women partaking in a meal, unbeknownst to them that Bentor's soldiers watch, their food tainted with repulsive alien elements. The warden enters, accompanied by Mike, the woman subjected to the previous night's experiments, now rendered unconscious. Another woman is earmarked for a similar fate, drawing fierce resistance from Torah, met with harsh retribution from the one-eyed lady. As chaos erupts, Mike regains consciousness, launching an assault on the one-eyed woman. Simultaneously, the warden's fury is directed at Bentor for his unauthorized experiment on Mike, sparking a search for the elusive Bentor. In a brutal confrontation, Mike engages the one-eyed woman in a relentless battle, severing her hand and ultimately ending her life, a moment met with a strange mix of relief and grim satisfaction among the prison women. With a newfound sense of unity and purpose, the women band together, orchestrating the demise of one of Bentor's guards. Mike shares startling information about the ongoing experiments and the development of a menacing bomb, compelling them to unite against these malicious intentions. Driven by a collective resolve, they set forth, determined to thwart the nefarious plans brewing within the prison's secretive corridors and bring an end to the cruelty they've endured. The climax of the narrative unfurls with high stakes and intense action as Torah seeks guidance from Mike on navigating the labyrinthine passages leading to the lab. As they prepare for the impending confrontation, the discovery of the one-eyed woman's demise fuels the warden's fury, setting a tense atmosphere. In a parallel thread, Bentor kidnaps the lab scientist, conducting ruthless experiments to suit his own ends. An alarm blares, signaling the prison's awareness of the inmate's escape. Torah attempts to rescue the doctor but struggles to locate her until finally discovering her trapped in Bentor's experimentation chamber. A standoff ensues as Torah confronts Bentor, only to be subdued by the warden's intervention. Yet, in a twist, the scientist intervenes, temporarily restraining the warden, allowing Torah and the scientist to flee. Tragically, the scientist succumbs to a guard's attack. The warden and Bentor pursue Torah, leading to a solitary showdown where Torah's resourcefulness aids her escape. Mike valiantly combats the guards, joining forces with Torah and other women. Together, they overpower the guards, exhibiting remarkable courage and resolve. Their escape takes a daring turn as they commandeer a spaceship, initiating a thrilling space battle. Torah faces off against the warden in a fierce ship-to-ship combat, culminating in a dramatic explosion, marking the end of their confrontation. However, Bentor, persisting in his pursuit, faces an unexpected obstacle as a peculiar creature disrupts his ship's wires, rendering his weapons ineffective. A chilling encounter with the priest's ghost triggers Bentor's descent into madness. Torah seizes the moment, unleashing a barrage of fire that finally vanquishes Bentor, putting an end to his menacing pursuit. Escaping towards her red planet, Torah brings the tumultuous journey to a resolute conclusion, marking the end of this intense tale.